Well, greetings on this Monday. Good to be together again on this transformative personal journey through Lent. We're having a fireside chat today because we're about a quarter of the way through this transformative personal journey. And today's lesson is a very important one on this transformative personal journey. If it's going to be transformative, it means that things may need to be done or thought about or questioned in a different way if it is to be transformative. Today the question is, dude, don't you see the log in your own eye? It's a great picture, a log in your eye. Imagine that. Don't you see the log in your eye? It's not a rhetorical question. It may be funny to think about, but it's a real question, and that's why I wanted to have a fireside chat with you at my house, because this question, do you not see the log in your own eye, gets at the core of what this whole transformative stuff is all about, this concept of beyond question. A number of times I've mentioned in the last 10, 11 days that Jesus asks questions as a methodology for deepening discipleship. John Deere, in a book about the questions about Jesus, writes these words. He says, "The questions of Jesus are to reposition you, to challenge your image of God or your world, to present you with new and different and creative possibilities." Jesus, I love this sentence. Jesus himself does not usually want or expect specific answers. He hopes to call forth from the answering person a process of personal transformation. A transformative personal journey through Lent. Questions that lead to personal transformation that results in deepening discipleship. That's what this journey is all about. It's not so much the question itself, like how many disciples are there? What did Jesus turn water into at Cana? Who were the 3 favorite disciples of Jesus? That's not the kind of questions we're looking at. Rather, we're looking at a way of asking questions that probe more deeply into your life, your commitments, your values, your decisions. And that's what we'll be doing in an evolving kind of way over the next 28 days. Now, as we do that, think of your brain as an incredibly powerful Google search engine. On your computer, when you Google a word or phrase or name, instantaneously Google gives you tens, hundreds, sometimes thousands of answers to the question that you're asking it. It's the exact same thing with your brain. When you ask your brain a question, it quickly searches all your brain cells, your brain databases, all the experiences that you've had, going back to your first experience throwing up baby food, and all of those brain cells data banks are Googled, and then it comes out with a specific, well, not a specific so much, a variety of answers. Not all the answers that you Google are good answers, or some of them are not even true. It's the same process when you ask your brain, an incredibly powerful Google search engine, a question. It scrambles when you ask your brain a question to answer the question that you ask it. Now, of course, sometimes it takes a long period of asking in order to get a helpful answer that's the right one. But my point is that your brain, when you ask your brain a question, your brain Googles it, and your brain instantaneously searches for the answer to the question that you ask it. And that's why in this fireside chat, it's incredibly important to ask good questions. Here's the thing. Not all questions are good questions, which we'll see in a moment. But I'm convinced that the quality of the questions that you ask determine the quality of the answers that you receive. I'm convinced that it's incredibly important to ask ourselves good questions, because asking ourselves empowering questions give us empowered answers. Asking ourselves limiting questions give us limited answers. And here's the thing. Here's the bottom line transformational point. The quality of your life comes down to the quality of the questions that you ask yourself. Because if you ask empowering questions, you're going to get empowered answers. Let's think for a moment about the kinds of questions we ask themselves. One category of questions usually starts with the word why. Why? Why? And when you ask yourself a why question, your brain Googles it and provides you instantaneously with an answer. It's most likely that most of the questions that you ask yourself begins with a why. Let me suggest that when you ask yourself a why question, what you oftentimes get is an answer that spirals you down. Why questions often equate to a downward spiral. Think about the most common question people ask themselves, especially after the new year. They ask themselves the question, why can't I lose weight? Why did I have such a good start and I have bad intentions? Why aren't I able to lose weight? And when you Google yourself that question, when I Google it in my brain, why can't I lose weight? My Google brain tells me the answer. Why can't you lose weight, Bertness? Well, because you eat too many Twinkies, you ding dong, because you don't get enough exercise, because you lack commitment, because you, dude, have always had a weight problem. Okay, so that's the answer that you get. Is that a helpful question? Is that a question that gets you from point A to point B? I think no. Why questions are often not helpful because often they spiral you down. Why do bad things happen to good people? Why can't I get a promotion at work? And why can't my spouse treat me any better? Why? Why questions generally spiral us down because they don't give us helpful, specific, constructive answers. Contrast that why question with a second category, maybe, a how or a what kind of question. Instead of asking yourself, why can't I lose weight, and getting an answer about Twinkies, what if you asked yourself the question, how can I lose weight? Or better yet, what can I do this day, each day, every day this week, so that next week I'm down 1.5 pounds or 2? How can I resolve this? How can I ask myself an empowering question that leads to an empowered answer, in a sense, a behavioral answer? Questions that begin with how or why are empowering questions that lead you to empowered answers. How can I grow closer to God during the season of Lent? How can I be a better spouse? What do I do? What do I need to do to improve my prayer life with God? How can I repeat that action so that behavior turns into an empowered answer? Those are the kind of questions, the good questions, that produce empowered answers. Now, the question for you today is, how can you make Lent into this transformative personal journey that draws you closer to Jesus? What can you do to use this daily blog to start maybe thinking about asking empowering questions to get empowered answers that lead you into a personal kind of transformation? That's my hope and prayer. Think about it. Think about the way that you ask yourself questions. What can you do to take the log out of your eye and draw closer to Jesus during this season of Lent? Two brief things. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. We'll be in Billy Chinook Canyon for a couple days. It's an amazing place. And second, listen to this song at the end of this blog that is entitled Why. It's a Lenten question, why? Beautiful song, and I think you'll enjoy it very much. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow in Billy Chinook Canyon. Bye-bye.